The Philippines is attracting $4 billion offshore wind equipment factories, Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, Undersecretary Seferino Rodolfo said 2 Chinese companies are eyeing to put up manufacturing facilities for offshore wind equipment in the country, with investments of around $2 billion each. Rodolfo said in an event in Makati City Tuesday that these firms target to supply the requirement of the upcoming offshore wind projects in the country, as well as the demand from the entire region. There are already projects that are coming to the Philippines for the offshore wind towers, turbines and windmill blades. These are very important because if you look at renewable energy projects globally, everyone would like to go into renewable energy, he said. Early this month, the Department of Energy said it awarded 79 offshore wind service contracts with total potential capacity of 61.93 gigawatts. These are big investments. Hopefully, we can close this year, Rodolfo, who is also the managing head of the Board of Investments, BOI, told reporters on the sidelines of the event. I think they have targeted already or closing in on one particular location where they might be close to each other, he added. Rodolfo said the opportunities in the Philippines for renewable energy are not limited to the project service part, but also making the country a hub for equipment and components needed for renewable energy. They want it here because number one, the local demand and then the opportunity to make us their hub for the region and also the other markets like the US and the EU, European Union. Number two is our geographic setup. These are very large pieces of equipment. It's impossible that you will locate them inland, he said. It's in the area where you have the port and it's easy to transfer from your manufacturing base to a project area, and we are perfectly suited because there are areas in the Philippines that have that, plus there are areas in the Philippines that have human resource talent for this type of activities, like the shipbuilding areas, ports. Philippines agrees 2,000 megawatts offshore wind deals with Danish investor on March 30, 2023, Manila, March 30, Reuters, the Philippines Department of Energy said on Thursday it had signed 3 contracts with a Danish fund manager for offshore wind energy development projects with a total capacity of 2,000 megawatts. There will be a 25-year operating period for the service contracts with Copenhagen Infrastructure New Markets Fund, CNMF, which is the first foreign firm allowed to have a 100% interest in Philippine offshore wind energy, the department said. The Philippines has made investments in renewable energy exempt from its 40% limit on foreign ownership in the energy sector, as it seeks to phase out coal-fired power plants and transition to low-carbon fuels. The 3 projects are expected to provide enough electricity to power 1 million households and offset about 2.9 million tons in CO2 emissions per year, the DOE said. It did not provide a value for the projects, which would be located offshore of Camarines Norte and Camarines Sur provinces, northern Samar and Pangasinan and La Union. The Philippines aims to increase the share of renewable energy sources such as solar, wind and tidal in its energy mix to 35% by 2030 and to 50% by 2040, from 22% currently. It has the potential to install 21 gigawatt of offshore wind power by 2040, equivalent to about a fifth of its electricity supply by then, according to a joint study by the DOE and the World Bank. The DOE to date has awarded 57 offshore wind service contracts with a total potential capacity of about 42,000 megawatts. Philippine hopes to attract more offshore wind power investments. The government is hoping to attract more offshore wind power projects, after the Board of Investments, BOI, approved 3 offshore wind projects worth a total of $390 billion in the first quarter, Trade Secretary Alfredo E. Pascual said the 3 offshore wind power projects of WPD Philippines have a total capacity of 1,300 megawatts, MW, and are located in Cavite, Negros Occidental, and Guimaras. In his speech at the Offshore Wind Conference in Taguig City on Thursday, Mr. Pascual said the Philippines is a suitable place for offshore wind investments due to its geographical position. Renewable energy isn't merely an option for us but a necessity. Thus, our government is ardently promoting using and developing renewable energy sources, he said. Mr. Pascual said the country needs 52,800 megawatts of renewable energy capacity to achieve its target of having 50% share of renewable energy in the country's power generation mix by 2040. Energy demand in the Philippines is growing in line with our country's projected strong economic growth at 6% to 7% in this and the coming years. The demand for energy, especially for green energy, is expected to outpace our current supply level, Mr. Pascual said. We, therefore, welcome Chinese and other foreign investment in renewable energy projects in the Philippines, he added. Investors in renewable energy such as wind power can avail of tax and other incentives under the 2022 Strategic Investment Priority Plan, SIPP, and the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises Act, CREATE. The Renewable Energy Law also offers income tax holidays, duty-free importation, and tax exemption of carbon credit.